What's going on here? I asked, confused, picking up the papers on the table along with our shared cash card. I canceled your insurance. You won't need to pay those monthly premiums anymore, my husband said nonchalantly. What? My voice shook as I grabbed the card and checked the balance. My stomach dropped. The account was completely drained. What happened to the savings? I demanded, feeling a surge of panic. I withdrew it to help my mom, he answered, as if it was the most normal thing in the world. My name is Adeline. At my husband's request, I work and take care of the household. Though it's challenging to manage everything at home, I try to keep things light, knowing he doesn't care too much about the details. More than that, when I do housework, I feel like I'm taking care of the place where the man I married comes home to. That's how I think about it, but I'm starting to realize that my married life isn't as fulfilling as I hoped. Adeline, can I ask you something? Could you send me a bit more money? My mother-in-law asked, unexpectedly stopping by our apartment where my husband and I live. More money? I repeated, caught off guard. Since losing her husband, my mother-in-law had been living alone. I knew she might need help occasionally, but this request still caught me off guard. My husband had been sending her $500 a month, a fixed amount he agreed to in order to support her. Yet now she was asking for more. I'm sorry, but we need to manage our own expenses too, I said, declining softly. She sighed dramatically. I knew it. Daughters-in-law are always indifferent to their mothers-in-law. You must think I'm a burden, don't you? I bet you don't even want to send me money, she remarked. No, that's not it, I replied quickly. I care about you, but this is a financial matter, and we're not in a position to send more than $500 a month. I wish we could, but we can't. It's no use. I hate you as much as you hate me, Adeline. That's never going to change, my mother-in-law said coldly. I didn't hate her, but it was hard to ignore the way things were shifting between us. She came to us asking for more money, and my husband seemed torn. When he glanced at me, my mother-in-law shot me a quick look. Maybe she thought I was the reason the amount wasn't increasing. But that wasn't the case. I didn't interact much with her, so I wasn't sure where we stood in our relationship. But eventually, I figured out it wasn't as good as I thought. Then I realized something. My husband cared more about his mother than he did about me, his wife. Adeline, I still think we should increase my mom's allowance, Angel said one night. Huh? Did she tell you that? I really don't think we can raise it from $500, I said, surprised. We talked about this after she left. But my mom is still living by herself, and that's so sad, he argued. Even if it's sad, I began, but he interrupted me. So how about we increase the allowance to $1,000? He suggested. I was shocked. $500 was the amount we agreed upon after considering our rent, living expenses, and saving for the future. When we got married, Angel promised we would each handle supporting our own parents. Back then, I thought that meant he didn't want to be involved with my parents. We also agreed we wouldn't live with our parents or invite them over without each other's consent. So my parents have hardly visited. My mother-in-law had never come either, but recently, I'd learned she had visited, which meant Angel had broken his promise. He had made a rule, then broken it, and now he wanted me to stick to it. He was asking for $1,000 for his mother, and if he wanted to give that, he'd have to either cut back on his expenses or dip into our savings. In other words, he was relying on me. I asked him, "How are you going to come up with $1,000 on your own?" It may have sounded harsh, but we'd agreed not to put a financial burden on each other's parents. It felt wrong that he was breaking that agreement without any apology. I have no choice but to ask you for the money. $500 isn't enough, Angel argued. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Isn't enough? You decided to take care of your parents on your own. When my mom broke her leg and my dad struggled at home, I helped them. And what did you say then? If you go, the housework here will suffer. Isn't that sacrificing my time for your parents? I shot back angrily. He had always resisted anything involving my parents. That's why I kept quiet about the money he sent to his mother. But now, for him to call it strange that he was the only one supporting his mother, it felt hypocritical. You promised we'd take care of our own parents. Now you want me to help only your mom when she's in need, breaking our agreement. That's not what we agreed on. I reminded him. Well, promises change. It's better to be flexible, Angel replied casually, dismissing my concerns. Look, you're already sending $500 to your mom. I'm not sending anything to mine, but if you're asking for more money, I'll send it to my parents instead, I offered. What? Your parents are fine, aren't they? He retorted. My mom's situation is different, I answered. I was stunned by his response. What are you talking about? You've avoided my parents completely. You've barely seen them since we got married, and now you want me to prioritize your mother over my own, I demanded, feeling insulted. When I firmly refused to increase the allowance for his mother, Angel was silent for a while. I thought he might have understood my point, but a few days later, he did something unexpected. When I came home from work, I found documents and our shared cash card on the table. I couldn't find my phone or notebook earlier, but now they were there too. Angel was sitting nearby, smiling smugly. What's all this? I asked, picking up the papers. I canceled your insurance. Now you won't have to pay those premiums, he said casually. What? I was shocked. Then I grabbed the card. This was the account we shared, where we both contributed equally each month. But now, it was empty. I glanced at the account balance and froze. It was empty. Where's the savings? I demanded, feeling my heart race. I took it all out to help my mother, he said, his tone casual, like it was no big deal. What? I was in shock. That was our money. I shouted, but he didn't seem fazed. You know, a married couple's finances are technically mine too, right? Angel said smugly. I couldn't believe it. Are you serious? That savings was supposed to secure our future. You just took it all without even talking to me? I was beyond furious. He frowned. You're overreacting. My mother needed help, and now she won't ask for more. It's over, so don't worry about it, he tried to explain. Do you even hear yourself? You just gave away $30,000, our savings, without telling me first. I yelled, unable to control my anger. As soon as Angel saw how upset I was, his expression hardened. Oh, I see how it is. You don't care about my mother, do you? You don't care about the woman who's living alone, struggling, he shot back. I never said that, but seriously, $30,000 for your mother. That's insane. No one needs that much to survive. I countered. This was beyond anything I had ever imagined. Angel had used our life savings for his mother's benefit, canceled my insurance, and redirected that money to her. All the promises he made to me about our future, he just tossed them aside. Anyway, Angel shrugged. The $30,000 is gone, and I'm sure I'll give her more when we save up again. So just make sure you save properly. I was stunned. He was asking me to save money so he could hand it over to his mother instead of planning for our future. He didn't care about us building a life together, about buying a home or starting a family. His mother was his priority, and I realized there was no future with him. Fine, I said quietly. I won't expect anything from you anymore. With that, I left our home. I went straight to a lawyer to explain the situation. Angel had drained our joint account to send money to his mother, and despite my efforts to save, it had all been taken. The lawyer advised me to try to recover half of the amount as it could be considered embezzlement. I decided to file for divorce and claim my rightful share of the assets. When I handed Angel the divorce papers, he just scoffed. Divorce papers? Are you threatening me? I'm not scared. You won't actually go through with it, he mocked, convinced I wouldn't leave. I stayed calm and signed the papers. I'm filing them myself. Since the apartment was in Angel's name, I packed up my belongings, all the furniture I had bought, and started making arrangements to leave. As I was finishing, Angel walked in and froze when he saw me packing. What are you doing? He asked, his voice tight with disbelief. I'm leaving, I said simply, continuing to pack. He stood there, speechless, trying to find words to argue, but nothing came out. He couldn't stop me. I sent everything to my parents' house and told him goodbye. A lawyer will contact you about the property division and the money you owe me. He reached out, but I didn't look back. A month later, after settling in with my parents, I got a call from my ex-mother-in-law. Adeline, why isn't Angel sending me the usual $500, let alone the $1,000 he promised? Did you stop him from giving me money? She demanded. I was taken aback. Who is this? I replied flatly. Excuse me, she gasped, clearly offended. How dare you speak to me like that? I don't have a husband anymore, I answered. We divorced last month. I'm also taking legal action to get back the money Angel took from me. But he's avoiding me, so I might contact his company soon. There was a long silence on her end. You're divorced. But why isn't Angel sending me $1,000? You must have stalked him, right? Do you even know your son's financial situation? I asked, unable to keep the frustration out of my voice. We split the rent and expenses equally, and after saving, all Angel had left was $500. He gave all of it to you, but that wasn't enough, so you wanted $1,000. When he couldn't meet that demand, he drained our savings, canceled my insurance, and put you before our marriage. That's why I divorced him. She was quiet for a moment and then asked, do I need to return half of the $30,000? Yes, I said, if there's anything left. But even if there's not, Angel has to find a way to pay me back. She mumbled something about using the money for shopping, which told me she hadn't spent it all. I hoped she would pressure Angel to resolve the situation so I wouldn't have to deal with him anymore. She then added, almost bitterly, if you had stayed, I could have gotten $1,000 every month. With your income, you could have supported me better. I took a deep breath and replied, you're a stranger to me now. Please don't ask strangers for money. I hung up before she could say anything else. Later, I confronted Angel about the money. As expected, he tried to deny responsibility, claiming his mother wouldn't return any of it. Apparently, she preferred keeping the $30,000 rather than accepting $500 a month from him. The arguments between them escalated, and neighbors had to call the police. That night, Angel finally convinced his mother to return $115,000, just before I was about to contact his employer about the situation. The fallout was huge. Angel had to cancel the lease on his apartment and move back in with his mother. From what I heard, they were constantly fighting, each blaming the other, but neither truly understanding why things had fallen apart. As for me, I stayed with my parents for a while before finding a new place. Living alone has been a breath of fresh air. My parents reassured me they didn't need any financial help, as they were saving for their retirement and wanted me to focus on my own future. Looking back, I've learned a valuable lesson. I deserve a partner who respects boundaries, values mutual effort, and prioritizes the life we build together over toxic relationships from the past. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and keep your eyes wide open.